Hi Capricorns, welcome to your October 2018 monthly readings. I'm at a different location again. You guys, I don't have a moment to myself, man. I'm always on the move. Something's always going on. Something's always happening. It's my astrological chart, I guess, where so I'm house sitting for my sister while she's gone in Vegas on an adventure. She's a Leo, and Leos are like King Arthur's. They got quests, places to go, people to see, things to do. So these readings are going to be done a little bit differently, just based on the energies that are going to be swiftly changing here, with North Node going into Cancer, Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio, and it's retrograde, and Scorpio has to do with lessons as well as Saturn does. Okay, so that's like dealing with in its retrograde, so it's inwards, it's self-reflective. This is like butterfly coming out of the cocoon. All right, like once the lessons, Scorpio is transformation. Okay, they go to depths that others can't. And Jupiter is going to be moving into Sag, which is, after a lesson comes the blessings. Okay, so I feel like this reading is highly valuable while we have Venus in retrograde in Scorpio, because it's self-reflective time now. It's time to learn our lessons. So it comes with two booklets. One booklet is more self-reflective, and then the other booklet is a very positive book. I say self-reflective because people could perceive that as negative. If I were to say more of a, it's questions you may want to ask yourself, things you may want to reflect on, okay, that you may not have thought about before, but it will be personal and internal, okay, and that's like Scorpio, okay. And the second booklet is, like Sag, which is extremely positive and optimistic. Okay, so they're called the 22 gifts. They're in Hebrew. I do not speak Hebrew. It's based on Kabbalah, is an interest of mine. You got the number 8. It's blue. Okay, 8 is the number of infinity. Okay, so very karmic. Scorpio is very karmic. Okay, like blue is water as well. Okay. So it's feeling oriented. I'm just going to find it in the book here. Okay. So it says the letter balances the functions between the desire to act with integrity, fairness, and purity, and between the tendency for thrills, material pleasures, and overindulgence. You may be experiencing financial difficulties, and you are under heavy pressures. You need courage and mental strength to be willing to work diligently and even to sacrifice yourself to fulfill your obligations. Do you recoil from difficulties and give up on yourself too quickly? Tend to bend the rules to make shortcuts to fulfill your goals? Do your material aspirations and pursuits of pleasures come to compensate for emotional deprivation? Did I say that right? I got a Virgo rising, you guys. I get super nervous when I'm reading. Do you find it difficult to forgive injustices done to you? And this may stop your progress. So if you're holding on to things, very much Scorpio, then that will stunt your growth. Okay. With Jupiter being Sag, that's learning to forgive. Sages forgive, but they don't forget. All right. They take things as lessons, and they use them to proceed forward. Okay. With the number 8, that is infinity. So, and that's like a natural flow, right? Because 8's completely connected. All right. It's like yin and yang energy, masculine and feminine. Okay. It has to do with grace and beauty. And Capricorns, especially females, they're very graceful and, they are beautiful. They kind of get like jazz music with you guys. Yeah. It says the letter represents the divine providence. It will teach you to take the runes in your hands and to practice free choice and implement your plans into practice. It helps keep both feet planted on the ground and make the proper decisions related to moral behavior and control of passions, to purify and amend your personal virtues. It will help you go beyond boundaries of physical reality to see the hidden and discover knowledge and truths through dreams. It will give you grace, health, and life and forces. And then it says when this card comes up, good times for new beginnings, fulfillment of aspirations in the month of Cancer. Okay, well, so Cancer could have some importance to you. And with the North Node going into Cancer, that's going to have a profound effect on everybody. You know, like Cancer has to do with ancestors and past lives. Okay, so a lot of people are going to be more, like in my opinion, the way I think and what I feel from, you know, what I've gathered, the knowledge that I've gained. And again, it's just my thoughts. With the North Node going into Cancer, people are going to be very home-oriented, structure-oriented in their house, building their little nests, okay? But also finding home, and home is where the heart is. So they're going to be doing a lot of work to clear out, okay? But this is also ancestry coming through and past lives coming through. They're going to be highly intuitive, feeling a lot more. Okay, and also wanting to be connected with their ancestry, want more information about like history and stuff like that. And with Jupiter going into Sag, it's going to be like philosophy and teachings and higher learning. So people are going to be searching for meaning, okay, and they're going to be searching for their home, and things are going to be, again, more feeling oriented, okay. It's just how I feel. But Cancer has some importance to you guys. That is your opposite sign. So you may be doing work in that area. Okay, so maybe you want to research Cancer and see what kind of, that's the kind of work that you're going to have to be applying, things you're going to have to be learning, especially because Saturn is in your sign, right? So change is going to come. This is about your stability. It's for your higher and greatest good. You know, after every lesson comes a blessing. And again, with Jupiter leaving Scorpio and going into Sag, it's like the lessons and then the blessings, okay? Expansion. People are going to be a lot more intuitive. I feel like they're going to be a lot more open to astrology and tarot, okay? You have the Emperor that came through. You have the Sun and the Moon in this card, and you have a Lotus. Okay, so again, it's very yin and yang energy. It's mastering oneself, the energies in the self, in order to build a firm foundation. Because the Emperor rules his kingdom not only with authority, okay, but with nurturing too. He sacrifices, okay. Proper Emperor and Empress, and the ones that achieve that status, becoming an Emperor and an Empress, they're both kind and strong, okay. They're both weak and strong. Like they've aligned their feminine and masculine energies. They know when to show compassion and they know when not to show compassion. They know when to give love and then when to give tough love. Okay, like they know, you know, like when to. They don't fight battles; they fight wars. Okay, so they know in order to win the war, you have to lose a battle sometimes. Okay, they can suppress their ego too. They know when to speak and when not to speak. Okay, they know when their words are being wasted on fools. Okay, they conserve their energy. They apply it for growth. When somebody makes an offer to them, they know that there could be hidden motives behind that offer. They do their research and they ensure that the whatever they accept into their life is going to grow. Like the Lotus, okay, it's going to grow. It's going to nurture things. All right. You need both darkness and light in order for growth to happen. Okay. Because if you had sun all day, the crops would be burned. All right. They need light. They need light just as much as they need the darkness. And they need all elements as well. They need water, so they need rain. okay, because he's a little bit of everything. He's mastered each element, okay? Air representing the thoughts, okay? Fire representing the desires and passions, okay? He's learned how to master that, to tame that, okay? He's learned how to control his thoughts, okay? And then in the practical realm, the earthly manner, he's learned how to plant seeds in the proper area where he's going to receive growth, okay? And then with his emotions, the water element, he's learned to control his emotions, okay? But he's also learned to express them when need be, all right? You have the world here. That's very much Saturn card, but the world is constantly moving, right? Like in its orbit, like change has to occur. Change is difficult though. This is two becoming one, two hands, okay? And I feel like there's a seed here. So something you want to plant. Your father figure could have some importance to you, okay? The Emperor is quite knowledgeable. He's very knowledgeable, all right? He considers everything before he makes his move. He has great foresight, okay? Aries energy here is Mars. The Emperor can represent Taurus, a lot of other signs too. Scorpio, can be a Sag, it can be Capricorns, okay? You have the Three of Cups that came out. That's celebration, okay? The world is movement, is what I'm getting with that. So there's going to be good celebration times here. It's connecting and coming together. But there is a speech movement coming through here. There could be lessons in speech, but you do have an overindulgence energy too. Okay, and like with celebration, that's the Three of Cups. Okay, that can be a lot of partying, going out, and you have the Five of Wands underneath, which is strife. So that's competing with others. You don't want to be competing with nobody except yourself. Okay? Competition is not with anybody. All right. You have the Emperor. Okay, there's a saying from a motivational speaker. I can't remember his name, but it's about an old African proverb that says, when you defeat the enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. Okay. The Five of Wands is not my favorite card. That's where people are going to get hurt. Egos are flying everywhere. It's action oriented because it's wands, right? Fire. So that's when action is taken. When action is taken against others due to egos, all right, competition and stuff like that. Again, you're not competing with anybody but yourself. You want to remove yourself from that. But it's also strife, and it could be like an imbalance within the self. You like again what I said about this. It's learning to control all of those four elements to gain the emperor or empress status. Okay, and emotions are coming through here. Tempering celebration is with the Three of Cups, that can be overindulgence as well, right? Like again, going out partying, drinking too much. So learning to tame that, learning to you got talking here too, right? Learning to express yourself in a proper manner. But with the celebration card, it's like coming together. So it's learning to make decisions as a family, or like speaking up. You have the Hangman that fell out about like it's seeing things through a different perspective with the Hangman, right? But it's also, I'm getting like an unhealthy attachment. So some of you could have childhood trauma issues with your father, okay? And you need to perceive those things differently. Could be like, you know, you think you're oil and they're water, where really you guys are both blobs of oil and you're separated in water. You know, you're more alike than you think. That's why you clash so much. You may not realize that. But I'm getting like certain lessons here that you like. Family decisions came through, like communicating as a whole, as a family, like family meetings. Like if you're going to move, everybody's input into that type thing, like what you need, your needs and wants, okay? Considering the others' needs and wants, and then compromising, everybody compromising. You have the Fool card that came out. It is like movement. Some of you guys could be moving, a new destination, taking trips, traveling. I do feel like there's a move here. You have the World and the Fool. That is a journey, okay? It's going to be quite beneficial for you if you're moving. Like the Emperor, the negative of the Emperor is he can be very stuck in his ways, all right? So you don't want to be stuck in your ways. Movement could be really good for you, okay? Taking chances on changing or doing something differently, right? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, okay? With the Fool card, it's not so foolish. In the traditional wider rate deck, the Fool standing on top of a mountain, and in order to get to the top of the mountain, that's no easy task. Okay, you have to go through the forest, and if we're going back in the day, you're at the peak of a mountain, and you gotta take quite the journey to get there. There's a lot of bumps and bruises. You're facing the elements of nature. You're going through bushes. You're meeting people that steal from you. You're meeting people that help you. You're learning new things. And then once you're at the top of the mountain, okay, which takes a long time to get there, a lot of hard work, a lot of physical movement goes on in that too. But once you're at the top of the mountain, you have oversight. You can foresee things. You can see which pathway you want to take, what obstacles are going to be in your direction, all right? And you got to pause when you're at that top of the mountain. In the traditional deck, the Rider-Waite deck, you see a little dog there, okay? And the dog is man's best friend. But the dog also, dogs are highly sensitive. They warn you about things, okay? Like they'll bark when danger's coming, okay? They know when their owner is coming home, all right? They're very loyal, but they have good instincts, all right? So it's like you'll be warned before you fall. I don't know. Because fool's not foolish. You got to be foolish to be the wise man. You got to make mistakes. No such thing as perfection. I'm just waiting for one more card to come out. Doesn't seem to want to come out, you guys. Okay. You have the Four of Pentacles. And the Seven of Wands. That's boundaries. Okay. But I'm seeing that as planetary movement because of all the planets in there. So there's shifts happening. And Saturn in your sign is no easy. Like everybody thought, like some people, other people could have thought differently. But when Saturn comes into its home sign, it's going to be highly beneficial. Not necessarily true. It's the planet of lessons. Okay? And you have to learn to master your energy just like everybody else has to learn to master their energy. Okay, so when Saturn's coming in your sign, it's teaching you that just like it's teaching every other sign the lessons of Saturn. Okay? You had a bunch of extra cards that came out. So you have the Four of Pentacles that's holding on, finances. Okay? You have the Two of Swords. Okay, the Two of Swords card reminds me of The Last Jedi. All right, you got Star Wars. You got dark and light here. All right, some of you could have a telepathic connection with somebody, It says darkness and light on it. Again, though, you need both elements. You have the Eight of Cups. It's walking away from what no longer serves you. Okay, and you got to put the light on the darkness and face truths in order for that to happen. You have the Devil card here, okay? The Devil card, this card. There's pills in this card. There's a guy that's vomited in his own helmet. And there's a guy that took his helmet off and he's going to die to lack of oxygen. Okay? And the woman is tempting these guys. You have the Star card. That's beautiful, you guys. It's hope, it's Aquarius, it's movement, it's the unexpected, but it is dealing with emotions, okay? Being the water barrier, okay, everybody thinks, Aquarius is very detached, and there is truth to that, yes, but they're detached because they understand emotion. They pour it out, they give. All right. You do not fear what you understand. You fear what you don't understand. Okay. So if you don't understand something, well, it's gathering the knowledge for that. Okay. The King of Swords, he is represented by Aquarius as well. Okay. There's freedom here, getting out of the cage. You need to cut the ties to what no longer serves you. The devil talks about, worry. Okay, when you worry, you're praying to the devil. Okay, it accomplishes nothing. Okay, and I say this a lot. Your fears are heard as well as your prayers are heard. Okay, so you know what a problem is. Now you're looking for the solution. Okay, like don't stay stuck, and then take action on it, because swords characters are the fastest movers in the zodiac signs. Okay, with the devil here, it's talking about addictions, and addictions come in many forms. Shopaholics. Uh, you know, uh, what's that? I'm looking for a specific word. I was gonna say it's not pack rat. Hoarder. I don't know why, like, that specific word, like hoarding goods, right? Like it means that you have more than what you need. Okay, so cleaning out your closet and donating what you don't need to a cause, but doing the research on that cause, a humanitarian, right? Aquarius is the humanitarian, where so giving it to people that need it. I do feel like you have strong ancestry here that's going to guide and protect you, but like you need to do the actual work in order for the new beginning to occur, because like you can change your spouse, you can change your hair, you can change the way you look, you can change where you live, uh, you can change everything in your life. Okay, but if you haven't done the inward work on yourself, the same thing is going to keep reoccurring over and over again. Okay, like the same thing will happen with the new partner. Okay, because the work has to be done internally first. Seven of Wands is also boundaries. Okay, like uh, proper boundaries. You got codependency here too, right? So you may need to set boundaries with somebody. Okay, and you may need to set these boundaries with yourself. That's holding yourself accountable. All right, like um, the devil tricks you. Okay, he creates illusions, and how does he do that? He creates it in the mind. Okay, and with the star card here being Aquarius represents hope. That's revolutions. All right, that's when revolutions happens. That's because like truth comes about. All right, truth is spoken, and truth can be uncomfortable. Not everybody wants to hear the truth. All right, fake people are much more adored than people that speak the truth. Where because the truth can hurt, and you can go through like denial when you hear it too. Like so like whatever denial you have to face here. It has to do with mental clarity and movement. With the doves, okay, that's like being caged up and like freedom flying out of there. All right, like because birds are meant to fly free. So whatever limitations you're putting on yourself, you need to release. Um, you have the Queen of Wands. That's beautiful, you guys. Somebody else had that in the same position too. Queen of Wands takes action. All right. You have the Fool card here and the Queen of Wands. That's very much Aries energy. And Aries energy is like the Kool-Aid guy, breaks through the wall. It's like, oh yeah. Everybody looks at Aries like, you just broke the wall, man. You just broke the wall. Like, and then Aries looks at you like you're the idiot. Like, like, because everybody's like, you just, like, why would you just smash down a wall? Like, and Aries is all like, well, I shouldn't have been able to get through the wall. Okay? That means the wall was weak. If I can get through it, other people can get through it. All right, we're looking to build here a wall that other people can't get through. So, like, to protect the kingdom. Like, a few things can happen here because of what I just said. Okay, one, you have unrealistic expectations. Okay, So you got to learn not to have expectations, because then you won't be disappointed. That means like Capricorns are very hard on themselves. They can expect quite a bit from themselves. Okay, but you could be doing that with other people. So you got to learn to temper that. Okay. Another thing is you could have walls built, okay, that is just like impossible for other people to get through. If you're looking for love, like your walls that you have is going to prevent it from happening, being closed off, okay? Or it can mean that you need to build a firmer foundation. You have to do some like work, okay? You have to learn not to think about what other people are concerned about. Queen of Wands is very action oriented, especially with Aries energy here. Okay, Aries are like the pimp of the zodiac sign. I know this because my mom is an Aries. All right, like they're very loving and compassionate. A lot of people say they're selfish. They can be selfish. All right, they're selfish when it needs to happen, but you need to perceive that differently too, because an Aries, when they're selfish, it's like everybody's like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, and Aries is like, you know what, screw you guys, I can do whatever the hell I want, and if I ain't gonna do it, nobody else is gonna do it. So you can perceive me as selfish, but I'm getting done what needs to be getting done, you know, like I'm doing what has to be done. All right, and other people are all like, oh, how can you do that, you know? And Aries is like, because somebody's got to do it. Somebody had to break through that wall and prove that it was weak. You know what I mean? Like Aries is the one who's going to do that. Okay, they're like a sergeant. Where I see Capricorns as the general, where you've got to learn to take action. Okay, she doesn't care about how other people perceive her. All right, she gets what needs to be done. Movement needs to be taken. Fire signs are very self-reflective too. A lot of people don't think about that, and how it's like people think that fire signs, they got a short fuse, which is, you know, there is truth to that. I got a family full of fire. Okay, Capricorns can come off as fire signs too. Don't be fooled by the sign, okay? But with fire signs, okay, like they got a short fuse, because like if you think about it in a different perspective, it's because they feel things in the moment. Okay, they're not a water sign. They can't, you know, they're not all feelings, okay? And they're not an earth sign, so they're not going to avoid their feelings, okay? They're not an air sign, so they're not going to think about things, okay? They're fire, they're action oriented, so they're going to feel in the moment, and they're going to express in the moment. When they're upset, disappointed, happy, sad, okay? They're going to express that. They're going to let you know. They don't hold on to things. This is why fire signs are so action oriented, and people are like, oh, you know, like when they break up with people, they can bounce back pretty quickly. And it's not that they bounce back quickly. It's because they've experienced the emotions that come with it. And they're not going to dwell on it, because they've accepted it, they felt it, they've expressed it, they've said their piece, you know, and then they move on, okay? They look for solutions. They already know what a problem is, okay? But they're very self-reflective. So when they say things in the moment, when they get upset, they'll reflect on it. They can be like, wow, that was pretty harsh, okay? Like, you know, with a Sag, they're usually Sages can be savages. because they're like, they're so focused on truth, and they're so blunt that they don't think about things, right? Like, so they just come out and they just blah blah blah. It just comes out and they say it, right? Like they're not thinking about the outcome or anything. They're just like, you know, like what you were thinking it, you know, like, and it's true, the other person was thinking it, okay, and they just took the action on saying it, okay. So one of your lessons here to learn is to experience things in the moment and not control it, because it's going to come out in a negative aspect in some area of your life. Like with the devil, that means that like whatever you're holding in, okay, you're gonna pick up a habit that's gonna try to fill that void. Okay, so you want to fill that void in a healthy manner. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. You're looking to be a healthy individual, internal. Okay, the Queen of Wands, she's a fun mom. She's a fun mom, all right, but she's also a very hold you accountable mom, okay? Like you sit in the corner and you think about what you did, and then you come back and tell me, okay, why I put you in that corner. And when the kid comes, because the fool, you know, is a young little kitten here, when the fool comes to the mother, okay, and she asks him or her, do you know why you sat in the corner? Okay, and the kid kids are quite intelligent, right? They're going to try to like, say, I'm sorry, and, tell you what you need to hear. Okay. But the Queen of Wands, right, she will know that there's manipulation happening, all right, illusions happening. And she'll be like, no, that wasn't authentic. Now you go back in the corner. And when you come back to me, when you're serious, okay, when you know what you did wrong, and she's not going to hold a grudge against them, because the Wands characters don't hold grudges. They deal with things in the moment. That's how they can move on. That's how they don't dwell on things. Okay. When that happens, she won't hold on to it, and she'll look at them and be like, okay, you learned your lesson. Okay. And now you know what's no longer serving you, what's like what bad thing you did, and now we can carry on and start over again. All right. There's hope here. Things can change. You want a new outcome? You got to look at things differently in a new way. All right. Like, okay, with the Emperor and the Queen of Wands here, seeing things in a different perspective. The Star card here. Okay, things, you hear that saying where people are like neat and orderly. All right. Like, your office has to be neat and orderly. All right. Because they'll judge you. Right? Because they'll be like, oh, okay, you're not neat and orderly, so that means that you don't have your life together. Okay, well, that you got to see things differently. All right, Albert Einstein, I used one of his quotes in your reading already about the definition of insanity. Okay, Albert Einstein was messy as hell. He was a genius, and what was his saying? He said, if having your desk all orderly proved how your mind worked, what does that say about your mind? King of Swords, very logical. You're very set in your ways, right? Everything has to be orderly. You're thinking inside the box, with Aquarius is outside the box. When things are messy and disorderly, that means that, there's a lot happening at once. It means you're gathering information at once. You're doing things differently out of the box. Okay, like, I didn't say that saying right. I'll try to find the quote and maybe put it in the little description box below. You got to perceive things differently. You have transformation happening here, lessons being learned, new beginnings happening, movement. But the thing is, like I said, you can change everything in your life. If you haven't done the work internally, then nothing's going to change externally. Okay, so focus on yourself with the Queen of Wands here. Take the actions necessary, break those walls and barriers that you have, whether it's with the outside or the inside, and take action on making it happen. Use your intellect. You're using both your heart and your mind here. You got to align both of them. Okay, that's how you're going to make a proper decision. All right, you guys, hopefully this helped you out. I will talk to you next month, and namaste. Ciao for now.